So please be clear, like he's pointed out, you are zero. This is called freedom. Freedom is no trash. Clarity. Peace beyond all understanding. This is who we are.
He and I were on a radio show together, and we were getting a lot of call-in questions, and we were getting a lot of call-in comments. Before my book came out, our book, no, this wasn't mine, but Zero Limits was by both of us, he said, Joe, when the book comes out, the shit is going to hit the fan. And I said, no problem, I can handle it. Until the first shit hit the fan. And I didn't handle it very well. I had a whole lot of cleaning to do within me. We ended up doing a radio show together that he probably remembers. And he interrupted the host and he said, do you have any really nasty questions?
We were having all kinds of sweet kind of questions. And I said to him, let's go after a nasty one, you know?
And so the announcer said, somebody by the name of Chris has this really strong question. And I was bracing myself to hear it. It's like, I wasn't inviting this. I don't want to hear this. I'm doing just fine in my little bubble. So don't bring it in. He was inviting it. Why was he inviting it? First, opportunity for clearing. But he said something that was a real eye-opener for me. He said that the person asking the question isn't asking the question. It is a data, it is a program, it is a belief, whatever you want to call that, was being spoken through the person.
This is why therapy never works. Because, as he's pointing out, when somebody says something to you, it's not about that. But we who have been trained, including parents, we keep thinking that's what they're saying. But you never hear what they say because you're always reacting. You're only hearing your reaction to what they're saying. Yeah.
Just having that awareness that the person asking the question wasn't trying to damage me on purpose. What they were really doing was expressing what I sometimes called a virus of the mind, that they had actually just picked up a virus and that they were expressing it, much like somebody picks up a cold, that they weren't doing it intentionally, that they had no responsibility for it because they were unaware of it. But because it was coming through that, instead of seeing a person named Chris in this case who was asking a question, I now heard that data came through a person named Chris, and what I wanted to clean was the data. And I was recognizing the data because the data was in me.
Take it slowly now. Let's go through that one more time because some of the people are going, one more time.
What I'm looking for when anybody comes to me and they say something nice about that book or any of my work, or they say something negative, perceived as negative about that book or any other work, is I'm now looking at it's not the person telling me it, it's not you expressing it, that you actually have picked up a cold, a virus, a program. And these programs are in us, they're in the universe. This is one thing that he's depressed me with. He says there is an unimaginably huge amount of cleaning to do that we will actually never, ever get it done in this lifetime. And I was really looking for the easy button, push it, and everybody's cleaned, especially me first. But the point is that whatever I'm noticing in somebody else, I'm only noticing it in somebody else because it's in me. And so instead of trying to clean the other person, which isn't going to work because the thing is in me, I've noticed it. I have to clean within me. And I'm at the point that I'm doing it non-stop to the best of my ability. And I'll tell you how I do it once we get through this. But I wanted to go and reiterate it.
So, anybody unclear about what he said? Because if you give me a chance to say I can erase it because it's trash. So anything that comes up in your mind, including a question, can be erased. Because once you leave this room, you're going to have questions that can be erased. If you don't get to erasing them, you're going to be stuck in the data. It's going to kill you. Example: there was a woman in Fort Collins. There was a woman in Fort Collins raised her hand and she said to me, Dr. Hughlin, I did the cleaning, but I had a flat tire. And I go, what's the big deal? And as I was watching, here's what I was watching. My mind cleaning, because she wasn't saying what she was saying. I was watching it. I did my cleaning. As I was watching the cleaning, here's what I heard. So when you clean, here's what you're going to hear. It's called inspiration. You got to be at zero. You got to give it up, the trash. So now here's this is called inspiration. It's called inspire. What the Hawaiians call ha. The ha is equivalent to inspire. And if you take this word and you attach it to the word alo, ha. Do you know what aloha means? Oh, that's funny. Welcome. Trash. Tell me what aloha really means.
To be in the presence of God.
Yes, to be in the presence of God. So if I say aloha to my friend here, I'm acknowledging I'm in the presence of God and I shouldn't be screwing around. Because if I'm angry with him, it's being angry against God. So just want to share that with you, just as a side note. So alo means to be in the presence of God. Okay, so now inspiration comes in and I hear. Here's what's going on. So as I was doing my cleaning, I heard Divinity say to me, 3 generations from now, her great, 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 great grandson would have been born retarded. Can I say that again? So doing the cleaning, the opportunity to clean, prevented a memory from producing in her family a retarded person. Let's kind of hang around with that a little bit. Maybe you kind of pay attention. You ought to do more cleaning, be more at zero. I mean, really. In Charlotte, I was doing a class in Charlotte. A woman says, I only have a...
Recent scientific studies have proven that one of the reasons you may not be attracting money now has nothing to do with what you're doing, has nothing to do with what you're thinking consciously, but has a lot to do with how your pineal gland is programmed. Now, the good news is there's a way to reprogram it. There's something new, and I have the special report right here. It's the Wealth Rhythm Code. The Wealth Rhythm Code is a sound frequency designed to target your pineal gland. And what it is doing is erasing the past programming and freeing you and even reprogramming you so you can now attract wealth. How this works is amazing because it only takes 7 minutes. There are generational curses, generational programming that has been activated in you. And a large part of what you're receiving and attracting and achieving has to do with not so much your conscious thinking or the law of attraction or any of the hocus pocus that is out there. It has to do with the scientific fact that your pineal gland has been programmed and you've inherited its limitations. So the good news is with the Wealth Rhythm Code, you can reprogram it. Let me read a couple things from the special report here. Most of the programs that are already out there only focus on feeling better. Feeling better is fantastic. Who doesn't want to feel better? But you want wealth. Don't you want to attract concrete results? Don't you want to pull into your life actual wealth that you can put in the bank, that you can count, that you can share, spend, invest, circulate? You want the real thing. So do I. That's why I'm so excited, because there's a body of work out there that says your genetics is programmed in such a way to cause you to get lack and limitation. It has nothing to do with you. It has to do with your ancestors, and you can't really blame them. They lived in a different time. They lived in a different place. They downloaded limitations, and they passed them on to you. They passed them on to you. So no wonder you've struggled. It has nothing to do with you. It has to do with how you've been programmed by generations past. What do you do about that? That's the good news. In the report I'm looking at, there's a book that's called The Body Keeps the Score. And in the book, the author says there's generational genetics. Generational genetics. That means you've inherited the genetics of other people, your relatives, your bloodline, going back through the beginning of time, more or less. And again, who cares if you can't do something about it? But the good news is you can do something about it. This recent discovery, it's the wealth rhythm code. It's a breakthrough that activates your pineal gland so it generates wealth rhythm for you. There's studies that prove this. There's research that says this is happening. There are people that are making this work. And I'm going to tell you, there's also people upset about it. This has been funded by millionaires and billionaires, and they're getting upset because they didn't want this secret to get out. They wanted to hold it to their chest. I don't believe that's the way wealth should be shared. I think when we have wealth, when we have information, when we have gold, when we can make a difference, tell the world. Let's help each other. That's what I'm doing here. I want to help you. Now, we all know what struggle is like, and if you keep on doing what you've been doing, you probably got to keep on struggling like you've been struggling. Break free, break through, and break now. I encourage you to read every word here, and I encourage you just to jump ahead and invest. It's 7 minutes. 7 minutes to remove a generational curse so that you can experience the wealth and prosperity and abundance. It exists, but you haven't seen it because of the pineal gland and the programming that was there. Let's break free. I've broken free. I want you to break free. So please, in all sincerity, read every word here and then invest in yourself. This will make a difference in your life, your family's life, your community's life. And if there's causes you believe in on the planet, you can help them too, because you'll attract the wealth that you can redirect to where you think it will do the most good. But it all begins right now. Take a leap. Jump ahead. Have faith. And as I like to say, expect miracles.